Hi, I'm Doug Reeves at Creative Leadership Solutions, where we believe in evidence, passion, and results. Today I'd like to talk about starting the homework conversation. Now, if you think grading is an emotionally laden subject, wait until we start talking about homework, because you've got two opposing camps, some of whom think that homework is irrelevant and oppressive, and some of whom think that homework is a rite of passage that gets them ready, and you'll even have elementary people demanding it. Don't you know, they'll say, that the research says that first graders should have 10 minutes, and second graders 20 minutes, and third graders 30 minutes. So let's just stop for a second and step back from the brink and ask what the research really does say, and ask why. When I try to listen to teachers, as I really do, and say, why do we have homework in the first place? The uniform answer is, well, Doug, they need practice. They're right. Students do need practice. So now the question is not whether or not to do homework. Now the question is, what is the best kind of practice out there? And thanks to researchers like Anders Ericsson and others, we know what they call gold standard practice looks like. I'll bet you've seen it. I hope you've experienced it. Gold standard practice, for example, involves coaching and immediate feedback. It's the difference between the golfer standing out there alone for an hour, making the same swing at the same ball, making the same mistake that he's been making for the last 30 years, and the golfer who gets immediate and specific coaching to improve, and you can see the improvement from the end of his practice session to the beginning. It's the difference between the student who looks sullenly at a set of the odd-numbered problems 1 through 30 and doesn't know what to do, or does know what to do but is bored to tears, and the student who gets immediate coaching, feedback, and support. So effective feedback, effective coaching, effective support, that's the hallmark of gold standard practice. But it doesn't stop there. Gold standard practice is slightly outside of our comfort zone. Think of our music students. They can probably play the C major scale again and again and again, but if they're really getting gold standard practice, once they've demonstrated proficiency there, then they move to a different scale, or maybe to an arpeggio, or maybe to a minor scale, something that's slightly outside of their comfort zone. We don't say go from C major scale to playing Rachmaninoff. We say let's move slightly outside of the comfort zone. The basketball player doesn't just do 2-foot layups. That's important. But once they've done about 30 of those, now it's time to step back. Now it's time to have a different position. Now it's time to be slightly off balance, slightly outside of our comfort zone. They don't go, mind you, from 2-foot layups to half-court shots, but slightly outside of the comfort zone. This means that good practice is different for different students. So the first thing is coaching and feedback. The second thing, it's differentiated. And the third thing is that they have goals for specific improvement. The goal is not merely sullen compliance, I did the problems, but the goal is actually improving their performance. Now, we know what great practice looks like. And by the way, I want you to observe this next time you watch your kids play sports or play music. Please tell me how many of them are simultaneously playing the trumpet and also have an electronic device in their hand. I think the approximate answer is 0. How many are dribbling a basketball and also texting? 0. In other words, they are never multitasking when they're getting effective practice. And yet, what happens at home? A minute of homework, 3 minutes of Facebook. A minute of homework, 5 minutes of Instagram. A minute of homework, let's do some FaceTime. They're always multitasking, and as a result, they're never finishing what should have been an easy and quick assignment in anywhere close to the amount of time and attention that it deserved. So, if that's what great practice looks like, it's immediate feedback and coaching, slightly outside of the comfort zone, so it's differentiated, specific goals, full attention, no multitasking. Have you ever seen a homework assignment that looks like that? Because I haven't. So we all agree that practice is important, but homework is not effective practice. And that is why in a recently published synthesis of 37 studies, in a really interesting article, and by the way, anytime I cite research, I'm happy to share these with you. They're all free on creativeleadership.net. Here's the impact from grades K through 5, 0. Zip. Nada. No impact of homework on academic achievement. If those parents demand homework K through 5, tell them to go home and read to their parents and forget about the reading log. Just read. Write a thank you note for those holiday gifts that you received and haven't thanked anybody for. Or even better yet, go outside and play and see if you can organize a play opportunity without 4 different parents being involved to coordinate it. That's what our kids need, not the odd-numbered problems 1 through 30. What about grades 6 through 12? Very limited impact. The evidence says if you want to use that for practice, fine, but try to make it differentiated, and most of the practice should happen in the classroom with immediate feedback and differentiation. The way that I've seen this masterfully done is the teachers who used to do 50 minutes of lectures now do 5 minutes of here's a principle, here's a problem. Now everybody on your whiteboards or computers or whatever system they use, and we don't start again until everybody's got the whiteboard ready. Now all the whiteboards up, so nobody gets to check out. Nobody gets to raise their hand and always get called on. It's 100% engagement. That's what effective practice looks like, and it happens with the coach, that is the teacher, present. So I think we have to affirm teachers' desires to have good practice, but we have to challenge the notion that effective practice happens at home. It simply does not. And I'm seeing a growing number of elementary schools eliminate it, and a growing number of middle and high schools say we'll have it, but we're going to get it done during the school day, and we're not going to count practice, including practice mistakes, against you for your final grade. We're going to look at your actual performance, that is, what did you learn from practice. It's not easy to have these conversations, but if you can start by saying, where do we agree kids need practice, and then proceed from there, you'll have a lot more constructive and less adversarial conversation. Thanks for listening. At Creative Leadership Solutions, we provide keynotes, workshops, consulting, and coaching. Please let us know how we can impact student achievement for your schools.